Kia Shankafo Edwadifo na wonu moton timber ewo Achemoda timber market make say omo de omani atre odan forestry commission aso yeso omani amanyina no wo mu access ni de si ye Kasee ye de munchiremu ebesomo na ye fi wonu ma ye de ani ebecho my Ghana ye mra hwebedwafie nipa mienu anan campaign for hwe ni mo so betumi atoto wo ma no betumi akwakoye wo madwuma ewo Supreme Court oguso ekoso enso besi na nya de mra hwebedwafie etumi asi agina ye bia sanso so na kanema mpani John Mahama ne no academic fees policy or the buy the man level 100 for one because your pan who do more my Ghana mu nipa bi ka ho 17 ho fe no so or the one no ye aba betudwa Kasee munchiremu ye the best so mo sansem we obi man so ko Kasee Adom Premtobre Kasee ni nyina ka ho bi na Kasee ma no eyefu a Midday Katachi Ej's capacity so said www.adomonline.com ma sansem we nyina no benya bia kenkan podcast enso so wo no ma benya bi etie yentwa ye ho ye mbere ba seden senesifatie no meshase no ase emfa emamo kia Shankafo Edwadifo na wonu moton timber ewo Achemoda timber market here no ewo Brim Central municipality we po ye mantam ne mo make say wo mo de omani atre odan forestry commission na so ye ya ne madodo na no wo mo assess ne nam som so panyi ba ko na wo ton ye timber ewo odan ho no mo no forestry commission no a task force awate edwa ko no so ma nam so wetina nanom ewo nsie do
Kwame Asante anipa dodo na efre no Ashabi eyetim madwuma ya amanfo enim ne pa na wahia ne kwanhia wuo ewo bra Achemoda Forestry Commission task force etwagu wonu mu achi na wosusu se wonu mu ahyan ne baako ene bo no ewo bra no wati motorcycle so ema ne hwere no nkwa amono mu hono mu abra wonu mu oton ade wotimba market hono mu ete sare husemi wonum ebotwi ekọ Forestry Commission fo aso ye ekọ sese ni ama wo hono mu
Bilian wewe me buy no baby odano me koye no me yehwe enye akupio abisio odakomu a hwe wa ubesia so ube kwasesem sesia gold wo ja gold efo eno ye gold ena enua esi obi ma mi koko so ase eno so bache odan forest fo hwe so ba hwe mi yira Allah Allah yansu se si ano yansu se aban no omo ankasa wa anyim panifo na omo anum se na mfia anum se dia so omo ku enipa nso dia omo so dia e na omo so mpa babi mfa e de kan de ne kan nam ndua kan na ti du nkwanta no e wu se forest kan e de e ba ti the moment e hu nu se na moto ndo di anum na forest kan so show traffic meter o pese o she ndua kan num ti according to my mote ka Kasee no tell me dem di kan e ti de si wo manim de me hu ti do tikan no ka tell me say e forest kan person twa U10 e kwan mi to onu twa na tight moto no so twa U10 abedi forest side nti ono kama moto no nti ono no ani bompa ne ka moto steer no na ma that time so ndia kan do speed na ma moto no so ko say edua kan anim ti edua na say instead so asi am di pan so distance na say wa film
forest for no enyemra say enu esi kwema omochi edi ye fa forest guard ye fa tiwo edi say wo ye forest guard na tumi to na wole ho no ye adwuma wo ho no wa tumi anche na bia na beduru kwam na bade em na bia say omochi ti no mu mu ku ye nkofo anya ye nyina de ho bagim na no nyina edi
Essence asemu a isi ye ninti no asrafo a wonum ewo Achemachi ase Jungle Warfare Training School akogu Achemoda Forestry Commission fo ase honom a wo bo honom eban ni nyina mu no Brim Central Mensini Security Council ene mpanyinfo a wonum ewo Forestry Commission honom eyenhyiemu sebeya obema asumdue aba honom
Sanfofro emo na Professor Mwakutufo eyabadwumhene ewo niwa dubiase make say divisional chief Emma niwa dubiase divisional council eto no ade eso na mnema bia wo ya osusu said intitimo papa mu ebe abusuano mu nti
Sehene ogu ahia oduro panyin biri kran ensem trofo hyiamu ewa na hemfi a ewo new edubiase ene wakire mu se esanse abadwumhene enam ne tumi so ede mpapa mu eba wonum abusuani mu nti ene nam so wotu na de so ono da nchen ya sense won fo obu ani ni die ema edubiase hene se wono ene ye panyin na woda edubiase divisional council na no eka ho bi enti na wotu na de so na nyama foforo bibre ye ka ho enti na nam so a empanyinfo a wonum ewu krum honom egina wonum tumi so aya amamra wonum ade sa ahini no afri ne nsem
ni odwo no anya baako nye from yenu nye from yesa afro baako edu nine ne
Samakutu for one tembia watu abruso. Me ma abejuo muhima. Abejuo mabusu ya penyi. Abejuo mujase hine. Ati se. Efi se manube siye se si Amerika sei. Amakutu for onye hine.
Aneku Adom eye edubiase hema. Wono so ne kasa yemu no wadi tuja se Professor Mwakotofo a wonom eye na badwum hene kura no na yem fomso.
Sabi predi asan akonya no memedwa no eto de bia kwahwa eti na enye ade a enwanwa bebre si ebema na kwahwa ayeko aye no aye sam ye hunu se ama ayede wo mo ba besra akonya ne bedi no omo ba sabi ni mpre no suni na Mwakotofo abekire ye se sabi enni se yede obi efiri baabi bedi akonya no de sebrantie na sese de sebrantie no na enye se minibi sabi no wo mususa ana nipa ni bi so ha na omo nhyɛ da nya macho no kure ba akopɛ ye wo do wani bebu sɛ na ka ade ba ma no no ebi no mo ase wo sa afei nso ebi nso se onim kasa ana de wonim wa no wani bebu no se obehunu kasa no so no eniemo wo bi a mo be ye kyerɛ bi ase hene no enu nti na ama ma afa konya na ama wo ma konya no ba medwe sɛ opani na ni afi sabi watena kuro no mache onimu ade so wa ba mu ana nwomasuya mu so onimu de enti di obeka kire me no obedi so saa na so no wa
Sagana de hye be hye ne so anyo da na mpanyefo mienu wode wo mekopie mu mrahye bedwafia na mpanyefo hwese obetumi atoto ma no na wo makokoye o madwuma e wo Supreme Court na ne nyina no wo hye ase na ne obobura anwumre mpo ye ne kura no guso atoto mpanyefo ano na so emfa ho ene mre tenten mpanyefo de atoto ma no nya de mrahye bedwafie etumi ase agina ye.
Justices Sofaro Seta Isa and Professor Richard Premtobre ekopie mu ewa appointments committee no anim na be don hwere du mienu ekire no na appointments committee ko ma no eto waba na bato na ekire no emane mu epae Kwame Agboja eye minority chief whip bradwumedie no ba wiye no ne amane boni etwetwe nkomo.
We conclude by taking a vote. As we know, the first deputy speaker is unavoidably not absent. So 7 colleagues from the majority and then 7 colleagues from my side were there. So the majorities can hear some people saying that we shouldn't take the decision now. The same people who are the committee can be the only people who can take the decision. I've been hearing some alien decision that somebody can vote by a remote and other thing. It's alien to us. 7 people from our side voted against them, the nominees. 7 people from the majority voted for it. We take the decision at plenary. It's as simple as that.
Alexander Fenyo Marking eye panyina wo Adom Kasee o mrahye bedwa no anim o kire mu se aba wonom eto ye no Joseph Osewusu a wo wonom dwemtina ni no wantu bi senti agina ya wonom asie no nya de se e wonyina so bia
all the facts and present a report for plenary to take a decision. So whatever that is going to the plenary is a recommendation, which recommendation is a split recommendation. Of course, I must emphasize that the Honorable Joe Osewusu has a right within our rules of procedure to participate in decision making at committee level and at plenary level by a virtual means. Our rules allow that. The rules allow a member now to participate in plenary even when he's not physically present in the jurisdiction. So all those matters will come up for consideration.
It is said the kan ya de sommo no de ekosom rahye bedwafie no no mpanyefo mienu na mpanyefo hwe ne mum rahye bedwafie so betumi atoto ma no no betumi akokodi wo mudwuma wo Supreme Court make say de Adom kuma Adom Kasee enya de antiase atumi aye adwuma wo mum mienu nyina entem tie de ne be trensen foforo mu na mrepa mu de ekosom rahye bedwafie yesan so de asommo na wo hene ya wo no ewo jedu ye no wa half mantam ne mu de sobo ebo Ghana ban no se besi ne Jedu Traditional Institute here no honom no enya de so de mwa bia chitai bia ama wo
Nananom ahemfo ne manfo a wonom ewa ahafu Jedu abo aban sobo se fibra wonom esi Jedu Technical Institute no enya de se wonom enya mwa bia efri aban honom bra wonom edi dwuma bi ewo skum honom a mpanyinfo bebree ekwa asie bie no na jedu abusua panyini na nafo suji abo de to yamane boni anim se fisa aban so sisesha sese ebuman no enya de se wonum school no enya emwa bia wonum insi adan foforo ma wonum na wonye nhihye bi ebeboa ma ade kire ne adesua ho nsem akonkan ye no so ha Kasee pa ma mpanyinfo a wonum eda school na no adesuafo ahemfo ene manfo a wonum ewu krom ho no
ye besre ye wura akufuado ne baumia so ma ban bai ye jedu technical institute de ye nya amoa bia mfiri wo nsem se ba so se infrastructure saka bia o ye nya asamo ne bi nti na me kra me ye se me press conference ye ni chedu mani na school fo na nkasa se be me kra be didi kura no afi na ya be kakra bia ma wo mo se afi e be nkra no foforo san be ba September ya ni nyina ye asudi e dai so nti ye se o my Ghana na kufuado ne ba o mi ase oba 8 years ni a obekọ na wie no jedu man yezukuru kakra ho no ye nya amoa bia mfiri ha
Kibronya ko immediate past principal anu wada school na no wada adisredi ato aban ni mu se won fa kan de ebeboa ama technical and vocational training e wo schools ahodo mu no akonkan emedom wonum sanse wonum eboa o man impumtu akwaniasa ahodo bebre so
TVET education a game changer for nations development. Yeah, said obia de ho hyem na oman no aban no ekoso man ani koso ekọ wabomodin pa yi na so on koso no nyema enya opportunity bebre ema mabuna ye ba oman mu ye kan nation development na ye TVET education tie dan aban asepa yi so ma ye nya free TVET amankwada bebre enya akwanya aba TVET education mu ya omusua ensa no djuma hodo bebre
When Samson Fee and Ian Sherman Shibbejafi, na Domcom Shibbejafi, Bano Denny, in Simbia, or the Yato Media, my Professor Richard from Pong, and Sakopim say, the Canada and Crate Crown and no money Canada ni, Obetimia Poetry, no better in pass Obetimia Janatum, your Supreme Court, a Dibran penny for Betim Dashanisa. Professor Richard from Pong upon Eka one more, or do one didn't copy impanyfo anim ya water to one no, said a bear, or better than Jimmy Supreme Court. Na bear don't should be berenia, no de tuna no, don't come on about Denny at 4 sin, editor just say Nadia or the Chitai Ebemano.
I will find it very difficult in view of Michael Ankuma Nyimfa versus Jache Kwesi, the Electoral Commission of Ghana and the Attorney General of Ghana. That decision of Supreme Court, which is binding on all of us, I find it very difficult knowing that allegiance and citizenship are the same, being equated according to Supreme Court, to accordingly recommend you for approval.
Was science Simia Hono, Professor Frempong upon, and so which was saying, and yet on the Dom Command Bano Denny a yardring.
As Honorable Ayariga pointed out, there are two qualifications that must be met: high moral character and standing as a lawyer. And you notice that it even doesn't say that you have to be a lawyer in Ghana, because of that common law tradition which allows judges to function anywhere in the world. A judge's fidelity is certainly to the law. I think we have to appreciate that there are multiple cases that come before courts that have nothing to do with the state. There are private parties involved. So a judge is applying the law. So I don't see any unconstitutionality here.
Because one more, in Panyfo na question been switch more say, Adia Bako, how mopa, Nama Wamaja Montanta, a National Investigation Bureau for issue more, yeah, or do woman a Boba 2 Jayana Ninan, for LGBTQ, a Honsensem, and when see, or my Professor Richard from Pong, and Mrebebere, a man at the church Sanimo.
And in my view, this is actually consistent with the practice in other common law countries. It is the reason why justices from Ghana are able to serve in many other Commonwealth countries, even at the highest level. So, for example, we know Justice Akalu was the Chief Justice of Kenya. We know Jeketa Akon was the Chief Justice of Botswana. Justice Emisa was a president of the Court of Appeal of Botswana. Justice Mabel Ajimai was the first female justice of Gambia.
Baya busumi mienu eni na sitakfo wodo ndade nyina gu form ya Ghana ban wote ne so atwe nam neme bia wo kire se won sanka ye no mbo mo dwumadi entumi enkoso wano na wosansemi ho no moderator Emma Presbyterian Church of Ghana Right Reverend Dr. Abraham Nana Opare Kwache edi adesire to Ghana mpanyimfo nyina enim Ghana ban enyumako nyina enim sada roma won bo homodin a na de sitakfo hwehwe no won fama wo.
Right Reverend Dr. Abraham Nana Opare Kwache, moderator with the General Assembly, Presbyterian Church of Ghana, no Kasee, Presbyterian College of Education, one graduation, Ekopon Equiapem, and what did you just say? As to hear Shadi Suyan Samso, National Labour Commission, Fair Wages and Salary Commission, and Ghana Tertiary Education Commission, no, and who be here say, Ninti and I'm so Amasita before, Edward Nadia go for more, Echo Bear Busumi Muni, 1 year Jumano. Once we commend
them for the processes, there is an urgent matter that needs to be resolved. And it has to do with the 8-week strike by the tutors, the Colleges of Education Teachers Association of Ghana. Since June, they have been on strike, and this is disturbing because our colleges are yet to recover from the impact of the COVID-19 pandemic. I want to, at this point, on behalf of the entire Christian community of this country, make a passionate appeal to quickly find a middle ground and come to a settlement.
Principal Awada Presbyterian College of Education and no Ewe Krupon Equiapem, Reverend Dr. Nicholas Apresian, Ebo Abaya Baso say wade get fund, Sikano and Pemo Henum, Ebo de Chirenia de Suyan Semina Fe was science Swiss Adine, Ewo Skum Honomo Abua Wono.
I'm a Presbyterian College of Education Danas. Young 6-story ICT, Wabuaya Danas. Young Central Lab, Yegususi Danas. Office here yet we move finishing or boa ye danase. Get fund afi or the sikaba say impuntua developmental projects e wo school mu ha ye mfantoa so ye danase. Eno anso ho wasandi sikaba say staff development eno nso ye danase wa ye bebre ama eno nti ama teacher funu bebre ko school. Sikai mu na bande boa wo.
Ye na enche credit min na be so money be free sansem ne so na afi ya toy en Kasee no we so na kanema mpani John Mahama imprempren de ono ene to franka e de ama NDC amanyoko no ne nsem de ba betu dwa no akasa e de afa ne no academic fees policy ya wade ba e de ama wono ma siapan hodo ombedin kan komo foforo kura ye no beboa ama wo masomaju wo na de siansem ne so etimi akoso bo anu wan na bro de sama ne bo betu dwa no nipa bebre na de ho fro keka ho nsem bebre na so ne wode monchire mo nyina ba betu dwa.
Bra wonum youth town hall meeting ewo Ho Technical University ya honom no enisuade hu ndisi amanyuku no ewo ema mebunu wo dekoto wonum wanimu no ena John Mahama ya wotu franka ndisi amanyuku no efa sa akwanya no so e kire kwan ya no academic fees for level 100 tertiary students sendi si amanyuku no eba bedi man so a wodi bedi dwuma na aboa adesuafo.
We've costed it, and we approximate that for all first-year students in public tertiary institutions, it should cost anywhere between 270 to about 290 million Ghana cedis. Let me tell you something. The president, a few years ago, his travel budget for traveling in 9 months amounted to 69 million Ghana cedis. And even if you look at the Office of President budget alone, you'll be able to cut to raise enough money to pay fees, academic facility user fees for all level 100 students.
Kasee mu no science di tuja say ebo a wahye wo no mo na nyese opeso to abama no kwa intin wahye sabo ne nemum ehun hia pai science adesuafo ya wonom ewo SHS wo choro nso hwewie na se obo won homodin a science woni skanti ontumi nto awon ma de sua so ewo suapo.
There was a case of a medical student in Upper East region who was working on the farm. He had passed with A's throughout, and he was called to medical school. But he was on the farm with his parents and couldn't go to take up his admission because he couldn't afford the fees. There are many other students like that. You think 2,500 cedis or something is small. For some families to be able to put 2,500 cedis together is a real struggle. And so we don't want, especially in the first year, when the students are coming in for the first time, for them to go through what we call fee stress. And that's why we call it a no stress policy. And so we're saying that we can absorb the academic facilitator fees, but it will not affect the subventions of government to the universities and institutions of higher learning.
Said Yenina Yenem no Kanema Penny John Mahama. Ono na ndi semanyoko no ye no se wondi amanyoko nanim na abatobre won fa wo mu enkom na wode adesere to won mu ofra mantam ne mu nyina anim se wo mu a NPP amanyoko no se de onenam honom de atoro nsem keka egu won ho fi wo honom no won se won aso na wo mmomodin aso betumi ato aba e de ama wo mo se de be ya eni swade hu ne kura wo mu nyina no e betumi abemu.
Sadia manfo bi ekeka se enyade sendisi amanyokuo no wonom ewa aban mu a woye mpomtudwuma bia ewo framantam mu no John Dramani Mahama wotu fanka ama endisi amanyokuo na de atudwa se nukure bia eni sansem ni mu ebra wonom ebo dwadata ewo dwapon ya nananom ahemfo ene manfo ya wonom ewo nofton mensini mu ekwase bie no ena frankatuni edi tudwa se endisi amanyokuo no aye mpomtudwuma bebre wo framantam mu honom esene amanyokuo bia.
In 2020, if you look at the results we got in Volta region, we got above 84%. Above 84%. If you look at the 84%, it is not the highest we have gotten, because in Rawlings' time, MPP used to get single digit in Volta region. In 2020, they have climbed and climbed and climbed, and in 2020, they got 14%. And so it means that they are making inroads into the Volta region.
Urayi ediato wonum a woto abanyina animu se saa tro ye a wonum edie no omomodin ase wobetu agu won chi na wahwe enepa endisi amanyoko na ye ewo mantamu honomu de wagina so woto abama wonum se de ebe ye a obetumi ababedi man so.
Now, what do? They use propaganda, and they come and tell you that you vote for NDC all the time, and yet NDC has done nothing for you. And so even though we can see what we have gotten under NDC, the propaganda is so strong that we actually believe that NDC has done nothing. And yet, if you take the Volta region, from electricity, to water, to education, to health, to roads, everything that you find here in Volta region was provided in the time of NDC.
Mayentu Kasee ne so yegu so aye hwabato nsensem ekoso my Ghana emu na kanema mpani John Mahama so wo sanso de afutuo ni adesere to won ma wo framantam ne mo nyina anim se wo kokromoti ene ye wo mutumi to mo homodin ase nipa no kuredi ntine mo wo sha wo hye bia so won de so wo mo fom kokromoti ema no.
Frankatuni ema NDC amanyoko no John Dramani Mahama ekohye adwadifuo ene manfo a wonom ewo ho west ewo dededo dwa ewo framantam mu ene wode to wonum wanimu se abanye amampani adedankwa kufu adu edi animu sesei no wonom asai wo mensi kasam a sesei ama mabunu bebre no a wonya adwuma nye na nkampese watumi ahwe won ho.
When people cannot afford a meal, Ghana Statistical Service says in 2023, 8 million Ghanaians went one day without food because they couldn't afford to buy food. And yet you have a president, he can rent a jet for $17,000 an hour. Because it has a bathroom, he can bath in the air. And so they say elections have consequences. And so for a president like this, he has his younger brother, his vice president. He and him conspired to deceive you and tell you that whole West, they'll give you $1 million every year when you vote for them. Alakwato.
John Dramani Mahama Kasee mu no de atuja say mfidi dwuma bi te se Japan Textiles. Ya na nka eboa e mamanfo nya adwuma no. Sese won mu atum kura wa hyebo se onya kwanya bedi man so a obehye mfidi dwuma nyina emu.
Even the factories that were working, they have closed down. Japan Textiles were working when NDC was in government. Today, Japan Textiles is closed down. And what factory has been built here in Whole West? And so, the dishonesty, and that's why I say elections have consequences. Because there are some people who would lie for political power. They will come and deceive you to vote for them just because they want political power. And when they get political power, it is not about you, it is about themselves.
Amesa so emu akwaba AdomTV ewia Premtobre Kasee so afi ma yenhwe ne de ekoso wabato enim de emu na General Superintendent Assemblies of God Ghana Reverend Steve Wengam wajina twerɛ kronkron so akyerɛkyerɛ mu baabi a abato kora isifa eba ye ne tiama nei o my Ghana didi dwuma na ma hodo so so bia fa odi edi dwuma sanso so no di nkranhye America Christopher nyina gidifo nyina so bia mba no homodin asa abato bre no dwu a wonye ne ho emfiri mu.
Social Tronsemua, a brand Yankopon ball Sonia Sassi or born Nipa Adam and Eve El Tumono or the two Misha Adam and Sa. Nanka Yankopon, Nisha and say, or no radine be dianso. And Nuntino, Yamishi Mono, no one yes say, young pound penning for. Enti, and no more na Osha Yankopon a pow judges at them before Emma Israel. And now, if you could be in Israel for 2 years, catch you they say, Opa him for to say, we are saying Kaina Kano. Anyway, and not somewhere I ended there because not somewhere, Nama, judges, Nana, Oma Brabo, Kobe, Binen, Koye, Naka Proy, Katasi, Shenya, Masembi, Koso. 89 guesses, before you and the Someka say, Radi, and pay for not your mamma, no, Nyaman Koye, and Tino, ye the two and him. No, we rather than Kasee. Enam ne nyansa so ehunia obeye enso omo no di kan e kire Nyankopon nia omo pe Nyankopon so bo nipa no odi nipa ne pa ama no enti na nya Samuel de na Irade ka che Samuel say enye wo na omo apo wo emi Irade na ka kire won say so omo pa wo omo hini a say ni na beto won omo so mo pe ni sa enti na ma election ba Bible mu e na afedie Omoko pow Saul. Na winning Bible in him sembebre Saul, the Ohabebre bre Israel. Interview okono, ena him ye no, ebe kan Israel shisha hu. Inti no shemu pa de nanke no de enye nyame ne pe. Ba nyame de ono de obo asase o de tumi amanipa. Ena kwa besi na ye practice democracy. Enti democracy no sha eye man nkrofo na yedi won so no e kire nyompese odi omwanim na democracy na ye but say yantete nkrofo no moma ehu o ma sede ehu ne se o mo hwe so mo power leader and there no so emwa enu nti no Christo ni de Romans 13 say yembre ye ho ase emma tumi a nyame ahyehye no na constitution no ene governance na wo sisi nyame na amakwan inti Irade expect say yen nyina ye bebre ho ase na ye de ho ahye constitution ase na constitution na ka no yen di so no ba ko
spices and kwa na asias ne piwak natural health eso ka ho bia wo mu aso yas ne de yadro no Adom trotro selasi amo akakopie mu ewa Accra College of Education o de Ghana de she bi edin komo de fa chefo in social wo mu etworo ho na bi nso ka ne mampanyi ne bo sha wa hye ye won mo mbeko yesu apon foforo emu tikofi so otemenka ba bia we so mame
first time betu dwa wono mu chirema level 100 entries from next academic year enya ade a wono mu betia academic fees bia afen so yebesan hwe CTAC for striker empempre wono mu ebusu ewum no ensunsuanso a enya ewo esuafo so menya teacher training baako a na menya nooks member enso so baako a eno mu ninkomo na yembisa won sa ensemfo yi sen na wono mu eje edefa mamini kan bisa no academic fees policy, do you think it is feasible?
All right, ebeda maso akonya na mode amaye ne afa akonya yisunso achia Ghana school for muti ofan. Na yakwa ekubata nko a ehwe adisuasem ne mabunu ho ntotoye no. Na on a normal day ya TVB say ya mpo ye school for nke benya mpo na aduane mpo a ye di mpo no aban bi so befa ho ka nyina. Na momon sema na ye busa ho ne se as policy bi say eba beboa ye na school for ye mpuntuo no nke ho behia se nkanya hwekra nke bagi yenso ya dwenkyere fa sa policy woni etima kyere se ye na school for no ene be se mpo ne yehia na niema se na wo ye ma ye betima boa ye na yenso ye de nyansa aka sa dwumade ban because ehun sunsuanso aban bi policy wo de beba ewa disuasem ehun sunsuanso nyina yeso na eba nti questions bebreba ye busa ye hu nyina ne se ye se first years ye hwe academic user fees ehun ebra na mi busa me ho se me student am free kro bi e friend Togo e o Kasapin mawie senior high school meant menya scam fan to aso no and na wabasa wo the good new policy ba eye pa na me ba na se me be school na me wie first year na then to aso no me then second year third year fourth year fourth year and fifth and sixth year no me then nti se yetima twa first ofana edikan na wi a ofana etoato aso na be den na metima komanim nti de besi ni se mesa go back to machi after first year ese mesa go back to makura na me koye afo because mentima to school no so nti ebusa the sustainable plan a yedi gu akwema tima hwese ye nuanu mu bia omu frɛ kyere ba empo school ska omu de omu school fees aye den ye hwɛ ofana edikan ni wi a ofana etoato aso na be den na yetima nya ska de ahwɛ omu ama matima aye den ato aso asemba konso a ye busa ehun say yes spend almost 300 million Ghana cedis per the estimate na yenyan asma ye busa ehun say empempi even free senior high school na kire niam bebre ye mu bi wo ha ye betima tua ye school fees nti your genuine one bi wo school fees no ntimi ntua ye betabiri sika 300 million e de akore say ye di tua wona o betima tua ne wona ntimi ntua nyina sika den na ye nhwe na nki yenyi wona ntimi ntua no na ye ntua na sa sika na aka ne betimi de abos school who in some kinds of bebre because uko basic schools as we speak we still have 5,000 schools under trees as ye says can be na and so de ko baby a time scan so free asemba ko hia get fund ho na pick scan free in some bebre so get fund ho as ye kan as ye de ni nyina gu akwama bibia nso timi etoye enti
Nooks president Daniel appoint chairman na wote nkano menya teacher training bi wa yembisa no CTAC strike no how and impact e wo students so
impact no nukrani na nyenu enya de kotwa eda ho mobile school for almost more than 2 months ni na teacher ni ba class ye aya de ha adwen pa cause untime so mo free school mo free fee na omo ba school mu we mu nia o ma rent ana mo tie abonten ana mo ba wi nti for academic calendar ni besi it means that they would have to renew their rent we are there hard employment and we teacher trainees all Ghana
yen hwede na obekacha ba ni manimu ya din so on resolve these issues na acheche for Nsambra classroom ana
that would be the best way so abine and we seek tag better as a normal resolve issue tanya sa so a na ne ebeka teacher trainees for na say omo beku fie na so mutimi any sit tag for na ekasa na we omo timi nya awe ana omababak
ahwefo enhye ne so se yen Kasee ba hodonum ye ne CTAC ene as a teacher trainee for ebedi nkomo ne de kawa CTAC strike I impact omomo no e de ababedom yahwefo ena fe yetie for hana brema kwan ma de ne AdomTV free Accra College of Education no e de esi trotro ne ma mate metenasia meje so se awe
Abio AdomTV sunie medin the writer Amenya Rafael de Centro Campesta Creativo we are sitting presenter good yemre na so yi mamenfa nko Botswana fo no Olympic Games ni bi Paris aba na wie ye de batoma be mu a Leslie Tebogo okoya ade pa eba na 4x400 oje silver ena de oji gold no 200 meters na omahenkuro gabroni Botswana ho na saa we no omo national stadium Ghana ansi ye duru soro wa na de dollars pian grove we ba se ho ne de bicycle na niam omo de be adwuma kura na ya no munya bi o ya na ye de ne pa but nkrofo mo ni abre a omo hwe sports afri ase ho amana kosoro aman ni bebre hu se nya football ne saa keke o other sports nso ho abefa so omo man na koyie enti aman no aman penifo sports ministers ne nkrofo de sikehiem ti we Botswana Leslie Tebogo enso ahomani monyamo a team ni na ba oma welcome omo enrada mamemfa nko South Africa nso so oma be mu abaako we yesuku ni ono nso ko Paris ni bi onso ya de peba na 4x100 relay na okodi nkunim oya de onya silver medal South Africa fo nso se da bi akoya ade nti school fo ni na etwahia brante hu ono nso return no oma ni heroes welcome sa brante wakoya ade yetimi enya wo sa akwa de wapoto amanafie no odibomu a onchi eti omo ahwene yie pa amane heroes welcome agene yoyoyo bambamba sana mpewa wachire se okoye ono so ayade panti wenso South Africa abemu a ni din ede Bayanda Walaza eno koye ade ono so abai mamemfa nsi fom na yemfansi na mamemfa nko Sweden no ukowura ho a board boko ba ko ho omo din ede Kama AIK na Kama foi captain ya diagnose ne say wanya cancer enti eba ne football other sporting activities ontimi nyina mu ensi akan na abemu yi ekwa a wontimi mo game no ni din de Marcus Herman ni teammates atwa mutire ho say there be so mo ko ni different hairstyle te bi bo sakora edishia abrantie yi say wontimi mo game a ade betimi ayede support solidarity say timi koso edema ti we no mo de hye na nyam say wontimi mo game ni bi na untimi mago pramaso untimi nye osamba wachire ewo game ni mu a se ye hyewa ni monyam iti dressing room bra owura ho no we eye oman a womon so ewo Sweden omo football club ako a club a ho no akwa no enso so ya diagnose ne se wanya cancer captain pa untimi nyina mu nsi akan bi unti no omo hye na ni monyam teammate ne kan omo kan a omo ayo ye nyina we so yemfa ne enso so mo ne fancy ago pramaso nsem ye femi writer amenyo Rafael di El Centro Campista Creativo
so Kasee no so na bono mantam musuafo Justin Owusu banahene ede tumbebu na wo bono mantam ne mu nyina enem sa bra ekusu awa abato afi mu no wo ho modin ase won jeja won ho wo ma won ho kwan mo nipa bi anfa wo koye nkurutu djuma ye bi wi akire no be se o my Ghana ya somdwie
Justin Owusu banahene eye bono mantam musuafo wo kire mu a se obi ebe hwere ne nkwa ade a yesese ya asem da ho ema emabunu nyina se de be ya afi abato no wonfa won ho enkwahye basabasa yomu wone wonom ebredi nkan kra ni a wo ba beto aba edi nkita ho e wo bra Action Aid ye adwumakuo bi a wonye adwuma empemfaso eye International Youth Forum Day e wo sunyane e na maami edi to dwa say
e wo msa politicians e be around awe kan your policies ni programs mess stress politician bia obeba obes dada wo se ko kan sama e ho ntie ekoye tuturasem koya kakabensem mesre shawdache sa politician no e bia amane ba amane ba be ma amane busuani ni boja de hye enkonkoye na mmom baba dada wa defe awo ne man ketenkete bi no akoye e basa you do so at your own disadvantage mesre se mfa ho nye tuturasem mu
Nana Kwame Afram Denchira eye bono mantam mu program manager wada Action Aid ano wode ato Ghana fo nyina animu se wonka wo humumu na wontai emabunu achi se de be ya obetumi abeya mpanyini papa aboa wo man yi dache
United Nations agiatum every 1999 agiatum say dabi 12 August bosome wotwe da etosudu mienu bia no yemfa ehye ejuma yenhye yi enkasamfa emabunu ejumadie hu na yehu se emabunu so enipa omo yesronko a omo wo jumadie eboa omanchichirimu eti yehu se emabunu no omo na ebenyina be yempanimfo ti so omo na ebenyina be yempanimfo dia eniema a ekoso wo man no mu eni baabia no esese omunya no ewo mu ewo enedai
nyina yenim say Esther Smith gospel musician wo free oman hodo so anaso bi man so aba beka oman Ghana yen sebiem na nanwuma bebo sumi ni woje mu onyame bambo oni Adom Kasee de nkomo achire mo de inspa na na hye nim kuran e ma na chiro sadwom
me bambo ya ekopa me kura me ho adwuma I think yeah wo 150 something viewers ewo YouTube nti akọ Ghana fire dear papa na me ni Pastor Joe Bichem bon komo nse nipa fa trials bebre mu so na oti say Mr Logic mu enkrofo bebre ya fiesta sama mi wakoshan ti Pastor Joe Bichem frame na me wo UK no say Auntie Esther me nam takrade a wonwuma na obi ebo na wonim wode wugya nsu wa espy unsam fantefo de o ka asem bia na we kakra nam wode wugya ahoma wa espy wode wugya juju wa espy enam there onyame bamba odoso ma wonti enti menso me very sensitive di nyame de nwom na cha me kwa me ne wo kasa sisi a metimi nyanwu te ho ana me nyan na me frɛ Morris ene record ye
menyina sa nsimi so na awie Kasee amede somye no mefa ne nyina no wensi Kasee no maboafo emu adwumayefo nyame bo nhyira mo pii midin edi okatachi eje iskapa meso so edi fire man na yakrado or the fire for fire eto aso